say. The seas are streaming and reviewing mods and video games. It says the land in 7 seasons, centuries have passed, until the day a hero named Mariner Bain is last. Deep dark gaming, we love to play video games. We don't keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark gaming, we explain mods and games. Deep dark gaming, we sell my guns and more. As Mariner set off on his quest to new and hit a crew, the navigator joined the ranks and so did Mr. Q. Sailing for adventure, stories and for treasure, we will help you through, so climb aboard and join the crew. Deep dark gaming, we love to play video games. We'll keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark gaming, we explain mods and games. Deep dark gaming, we sell the games and more.
Ahoy divers, and welcome back to Deep Dive Gaming. Wait, it's already gone south. We are back for more Stream of Consciousness with Hiro, who is on camera today. Wave hi. Awesome. Ahoy Twitch, ahoy YouTube, ahoy Smasher and Gazoo, ahoy Mariner Kitty, and ahoy Star Trekker. So I'm gonna try and split my attention between that game and our discussion, which the topic of the evening is downloadable content. What's your favorite DLC for a game, or what's the worst DLC we ever played for a game? Or just general dislike?
Oh.
I'll go first, since I've been putting some thought into this today. Whoops.
Hey, there you go. I've already got a couple of ideas.
So, I think my worst is the Automatron DLC for Fallout 4.
The which one?
Automatron, with the robots and the mechanist.
I
Mojo
do
will be
remember
joining us in a few minutes, Smasher. She's got something to do before she can join us. We may or may not hear the
notification. Kids back.
There she is.
And she's already.
We didn't get
Discord's
the audio
not notifying us.
Yeah, so I'll put your avatar back on the screen. There we go.
Okay.
But we are discussing DLCs. My worst, or the DLC I dislike the most, is the Automatron content for Fallout 4, because they give that to you way too early in the process. Level 15 is not high enough to deal with those robots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those DLCs. Yeah, the Mechanist, the Nuka World, even Nuka World. It's like it starts entirely too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
And apologies if you hear a child in the background. The Hero's wee one is being a bit of a pill tonight.
Oh yeah, she is definitely a treat today. She might end up being a little bit too sugar-fied, because we had there is a hey, get down, dog. And the dog decided she wants attention. Of course, why not? Yeah, she might end up being a little bit sugar-fied tonight, because at the office today, one of the troops ended up getting promoted, and the director brought in some cake and said, hey, we're not keeping this cake here, and I am not taking it home, so you guys need to take it home. And all of the troops are like, we're about to do PT tests, so no. And they all looked at me, and I was like, crap.
That's the main reason, Gazoo, why I don't like it. It's also a little bit, I don't know, borked.
Hmm.
But mainly for me, it's just I hate doing it because it's too. The other thing is it's too invasive. Like as soon as you hit level 15, and you listen to the radio message, you start seeing robots attacking your settlements.
Rust
Which
And
devils and
they
robots.
are
Yeah.
pretty.
yeah,
They are pretty powerful.
yeah, rust devils and robots attacking settlements at level 15 when you've had virtually no time to get any defenses prepped. Yeah, that's bad.
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I can understand that. I will say that I didn't come across that DLC until well into my playthrough of Fallout 4, my initial attempt at it. I still haven't gone back to it. Um, yeah, and I didn't actually get back to playing Fallout 4 until probably a year after I got it because around the time it released happened to be around the time around the time I picked it up happened to be around the same time that Destiny 2 came out, which also happened to be right before or around the time I picked up Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And I was playing all of those games simultaneously around the time that I also had a deployment come up in the army. So it was all in the run up to the deployment, and I left for 6 months and then came back. And by the time I came back around to Fallout, my playthrough of Fallout, I picked up the DLC and started playing it. It was about a year afterwards, and I was well past level 15. I think I was probably mid 20s, maybe even 30, and eventually
Ahoy, Fox
that
Security!
that
Welcome to
happens
Deep
to be
Dive
Javelin,
Gaming.
by the way.
Oh, hello, Javelin. I thought I saw.
And
I thought so because I saw her change. I saw the name change happen in Discord, so I was wondering.
One second, my wife's being goofy.
Well, while he's
I
talking
am
about
live.
the, she can't see me, but while he's talking to
Really?
her, I will talk about my favorite DLC, which probably is the Dragon Age Inquisition DLC. That I cannot remember right at the moment what it was called, but it was the final DLC for Dragon Age. Where you go to, oh man, my Dragon Age lore is needing updating because I don't remember at all what it was called.
Just call me Frogatooey.
Yes, I put her there because I thought I could tickle her, tickle, but she doesn't react to it, so I gave up that gag.
Let me get my mind out of the gutter.
Yes, please, please.
Should I have gone this way? Tickle.
There you
No.
go. See, that's a little bit better.
But yeah, it's just the best weapons were in that DLC. There's if you play the Dragon Age Inquisition story correctly, you romance Solus, and then there's a great dramatic scene between you and him when you find out that he's up to no good.
Nah. Anyways, I am back if you wish to continue that line of thought.
Yep, that's about as far as I got because I was trying to rack my brain, and it wasn't until I realized it wasn't until I was playing Fallout Origins that I actually bothered with any games with DLC, and that was only that might have only been 20 years ago, and I did not play a lot of games that required DLC until I got back into Fallout or got into Fallout in the first place. So my memory pool of available games with DLC is minimal at best.
I want to say Fallout 4 was the first game I ever played that actually had a DLC.
Oh, I'm not.
well,
I'm in the same boat then. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
so
going there. I will say that my first experience with DLC happened to be the original Fable game.
See, and I play Fable, but I never played any of the DLCs.
Or you might not realize you did, because
That's a possibility.
With Fable, they had the whole story that came out, and then it comes up to the closeout of the story, and I don't really remember it that well because I played Fable a long time ago, a really, really long time ago.
I was a little more than half my age at this point. But I played it.
And what they added in the DLC, they added the evil sword. Well, you could choose between the evil sword and the good sword and fight the final boss with it. And then the actual final act was DLC, where you actually choose between... No, that's not correct. I'm getting them mixed up.
I never got the horse armor. Kazoo.
Yeah.
When the Fable DLC came out, they also re-released the game on console, and it was the complete game, all the DLC. The end campaign, or end of the campaign of the original, you beat the boss and you fight the final boss, and then the DLC includes the ability to pick up the polar opposite sword, or it was an equivalent to the good sword. You could pick up the polar opposite after you end the game. Whichever sword you picked at the end of the original game, you could pick up the opposite. And then there was an entire closeout story after the fact where you go to you get the island, you can revive your dog and have the ghost dog, you can do all this other stuff, because at the end of the game you have to sacrifice something you hold dear. You could sacrifice your dog, you could sacrifice the spirit of your mother, I think it was, or you could sacrifice the guild master. And at the end, if you sacrifice your dog, which is kind of technically the canon end of the story, because to do the other things would be absolutely evil, but you sacrifice your dog because it's something you love, you can then go to the island, and it's there's a grave where your dog is, and you could talk to the gravestone and it revives your dog. And then there's a whole whole arena that you could do, and then there's like a little mini quest at the end of it. And that was the first DLC that I played, and it was so long ago I don't really remember anything from it.
Wow, you will remember way more than I do.
Yeah,
I barely remembered the choice of sacrifice, so
yeah.
So clearly I played a DLC and didn't know it.
Yeah, move this up
But
here, I think.
it was very minimal as far as DLC goes, but it was also at the very beginning of the live updates to games.
So while you're covering, or well, not covering, what am I trying to say? So while you're going, why don't you tell us your favorite, your worst experience, or worst DLC, most hated, most loved?
Well, the most loved... okay, as that being my first DLC, I do remember it fondly, even though I barely remember it. There were a number of DLCs that I really enjoyed that I thought were absolutely cool. There was a game I played called Azura's Wrath, where basically it's a 3D fighting game with quick time elements and all this other stuff, where the whole entire theme of the game was Azura being angry and getting stronger because he was angry. And eventually as he goes through his anger, he's fighting stronger and stronger aliens that are fighters, and he just keeps getting increasingly angrier and angrier and just completely walloping the enemies. And eventually, he starts fighting gods and killing them out of anger. And one of the DLCs that I remember is it was a game where it had an Easter egg DLC where you fight some Street Fighter characters, one of which being Ryu and Ken. And that one I thought was kind of a cool one. I think in there you fight Zeus, which was also kind of cool. There's, I think, probably one of my favorite DLCs. Mojo. I think probably one of my favorite DLCs was the DLC Ballad of the Champion for Breath of the Wild, because they really tied it into the main story of that game, where I don't know how far you've played Mariner
I have not.
into Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I've only seen the opening cinematic because I've been too. The Nintendo Switch came too late in the summer because immediately after I got it, there were other games that came out that I wanted to play that took priority. I do still have my Switch. I have Breath of the Wild. I have a few other games I want to play, but I've not been able to get back to it since I finished Link's Awakening.
Okay, I promise it'll be spoiler free. The main story is kind of hidden behind a specific quest. Like, in this game, you will get very unclear quest markers for the main quest line, and like you'll get specific, like, go here and go here and go here, and then eventually the main quest will open up to where you get a choice of 4 spots to go to, and it doesn't matter which order you complete those quests in. And if you are looking from Link's perspective, you're not going to know why you're doing this specifically beyond some vague explanations. But the primary story of what happened to Link that caused him to be in the state that he's in is basically told from the perspective of, you have amnesia, and in order to restore your memory, you have to complete specific points by taking pictures of specific locations in a very certain way, and then he'll have flashbacks that restore his memories. And they tied the primary storyline, like the main story, into the DLC very well, very immersively. And the DLC is called Ballad of the Champion. Oh,
I just had to blow my nose. I forgot to mute my microphone. Keep going.
anyways, it's called the Ballad of the Champion, and it is a storyline that helps you power up some weapons that are like iconic to the Zelda games, and it also includes a final cutscene that wraps up the main story very neatly. And it's like you have to take a picture of a specific area in the environment in a specific way, and it'll give you the final cutscene. And it's very, very well done, in my opinion. It's tied in very well in such a way that you can't tell that it was actually a DLC quest. Like, it would fit neatly with the main storyline.
Nice.
And it wraps up the whole game very, very nicely.
I may have to change my answer. Kaori pointed out a DLC that I did play, and actually might have actually been my first one, the Coruscant DLC for Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I remember the DLC for The Force Unleashed being alternate history versions of the Star Wars movies. Like the one for Force Unleashed, I think, and you may have to help me with this one, Carrie. You turn Luke to the dark side, and then in Force Unleashed 2, you turn Leia to the dark side because Luke dies, and that's the third. How many DLCs were there? Okay, well, please elaborate, Curie, in the chat while we keep on the going here. Hiro, were you wrapped up, or was it?
I'm pretty well wrapped up. We can I
Okay.
can think of more DLCs, good and bad, while we're talking.
Mojo, you want to join?
Honestly, the only DLCs I've actually gotten to play are the ones in Fallout 4. Oh, and actually Fallout 3 and New Vegas. So, yeah.
Did you happen to get the premium package for Starfield to get that DLC, or did you say nope?
No, I didn't get the premium package. I just paid for the base game, and then a couple days ago, I went ahead and bought the DLC. I had to restart my game
Oh no.
because the game I was currently on and was at the correct level to start the DLC was a modded playthrough, so the SFSE got broken when they updated the game.
Oh,
so none of my
no.
mods work. So I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna go start over
Yeah,
on a vanilla version.
I knew that was coming. I'd purposefully had a different profile set up with mods from the default so that if I needed
I
to.
don't even know. I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, my God.
As long as you've been with Deep Dive Gaming, you didn't think to set up separate profiles for mods and not mods with Starfield. I'm surprised.
Well, no, I had the two separate profiles. It's just the one that I was actually gaming on had the mods.
Oh, you didn't have a right. That's right. I forgot. You probably didn't have a separate game under default. Like
no,
I did.
I hadn't started a vanilla game.
That's what I did. I ended up reloading the character I'd started back when Starfield first dropped, and was streaming it. And I was lucky I didn't get hit with the mood to delete all my previous saves. Partially because I think I knew this DLC would come eventually and would want to have a character I could resume. More players playing Skyrim on Steam. Wow, Gazoo, really? There were more players playing Skyrim on Steam yesterday than Starfield with the new DLC.
Dang, that is
Still does not surprise me in any way,
shocking.
shape, or form.
Yeah, no.
People have absolutely lost faith in Bethesda.
Yeah,
People are scared for Skyrim 6.
very
Or
scared. Elder Scrolls
Yeah,
6, yeah.
Skyrim. Elder Scrolls, thank you. Wow, why did I say Skyrim? Thank you, Gazoo, for messing me up on that. I blame him for talking about the horse. Yeah, all DLC for some armor. Why? Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Gazoo brings it on himself. There's no poor Gazoo.
Gazoo goes, pity me, and we say, no.
But yeah, no, yeah, I absolutely agree about Automaton in Fallout 4. That starts entirely too early. Absolutely. Same thing with Far Harbor. Seriously, you're not even done with the main quest line, and already they want you to run off to Far Harbor and go rescue somebody's kid.
It's worse than that.
Somebody
Isn't there,
else's kid, not even your own.
Isn't there like a death claw or something that's insanely strong, like almost immediately when you enter Far Harbor? I can't remember.
No.
No.
There is one when you enter Concord and you do the opening quest line, but they give you a minigun
Oh.
to play with to take care of him.
And power armor. Yeah.
And power
they
armor,
give you
yeah.
the tools to take care of that bad boy.
Which, by the way, deceived me hard, because when I took down that Deathclaw, I immediately thought, oh, this shouldn't be too much of a problem, and I'm not running around in my power armor and there's a Deathclaw. Let's go aggro.
Ooh.
Like the first time I ever ran into the behemoth at Carhenge. Oh my god.
Behemoths are so OP. Oh my god.
Yes, and it's like I have had just left Abernathy and was just cruising south aimlessly, not knowing that the further south I went, the worse things got. Because this is my first playthrough, and here's Carhenge. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool looking. Let's go check it out.
Oh, thump, 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 squish.
I didn't even get the thump, 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 thump. Apparently, dude was like standing right there, and I had no clue.
Oh. Wow, yeah. So, but yeah, the Far Harbor DLC broke Fallout 4 in a couple of ways. The other way was if you were one of those who liked doing the Radiant quests for the different factions, you got surprised one day when you go up to whomever and you say, give me quests, and they say, sure, go here. And you go and look at the map, and the map marker isn't even on the map. It's all the way to the northeast at the edge of the map, telling you need to go to Far Harbor for this. And you haven't even started Far Harbor yet.
Yeah, Scribe Halen is wonderful for sending you after equipment in Far Harbor right at the beginning of the game.
I remember the DLC zone now for Fable. Witchvale.
What?
Yes. It was called Witch Vale.
Ah,
Yes. I don't know why.
Thank you.
And I just remembered, well, I don't know why I remember it now, but I just remembered that the reason that I know that it was a DLC zone is because it created a blip on the map for fast travel for Cullis Gates. And every time you tried to go there, it'd say, hey, you don't have a high enough renown level to reach this place. And then later on, it would say, hey, you're not high enough level to go here.
yeah. Sounds about right. So you got a favorite DLC, Mojo? Because I think we've only done the worst ones.
Your cab has been pinged for a mandatory weight scan. Please head to the following coordinates.
Runners and
That has
Gunners
been
in
pink.
New Vegas.
Marks Bay.
Which one? What?
The Runners and Gunners in New Vegas, only because you get like the really awesome pew-pews. But anyway, but no, there's the Sierra Madre. God, I cannot remember the name of that DLC. But yeah, you have to break into a casino. But it is like state-of-the-art casino that was meant to be self-sufficient. In fact, it was built like a Taj Mahal to the love of this man's life. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, the whole thing, the whole entire hotel is trying to kill you. And you're supposed to steal all this gold bullion out of there. If you're, of that mindset, but at the same time, you're also overly encumbered, and it would be an absolute pain to get it all back to the main Commonwealth, or back to the main wasteland.
Now
Or-
that's a
And this was your
question- that
favorite
brings up
mod?
a question,
Or
Gazoo.
their favorite
this
DLC?
is my favorite DLC, yes.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I died in that DLC. The fact that there are, I guess you could almost call them ghouls, like feral ghouls, but they're more like zombies. Basically, they were soldiers that died inside their uniforms. They were medical uniforms, or field medic uniforms. So basically, if the soldier got injured or whatever, or even died in it, the uniform was supposed to be able to keep it going or take it to the nearest medical facility.
Thank you, Hiro.
But the gas that was released when the bombs dropped had caused the zippers on these jumpsuits or uniforms, whatever you want to call them, to basically rust out, and they couldn't get out of them. So now you've got these fully autonomous jumpsuits running around. I mean, it is disgustingly weird, but it is great. Oh, and you've also got collars around your neck that could possibly, that the Father Elijah is, yeah, he will absolutely blow your head off. And there's also sound wave machines, and if you get too close to them, they'll also blow your head off. Set off the detonator.
You need gas.
I will need gas. I
This
guess
whole
I could
entire
gas up
DLC
here.
was meant to just kill you, but it was fun. It was fun.
Sounds like it.
Sorry for trying to interject earlier, Mojo, but Gazoo
worries.
brings up a very good point. However, it brings up a question as well, because Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction wasn't a DLC, it was an expansion, because that was back when the standard was CD
Yeah.
for computer games. And that brings up a valid question of, are expansions also considered DLC in current year?
Better way
Because
to ask the question
that-
is, a better way to ask the question, are DLCs considered expansions?
Well, I
As much as
depends
they're
because
charging for them, yeah. Sorry.
because expansions. Well, how many expansions are there for World of Warcraft? Saying.
That's a good
True.
point.
Very, very true.
That's a
And
good.
that's why I
Yeah,
asked.
true.
Oops, I just lost gravity, I think.
Did you run out of battery?
Nope, my UCC malfunctioned. Or broke.
I know.
It's basically a giant circuit breaker. Woo! Look at all my floating golden cones.
Sometimes.
They really need to give you like a trophy cabinet for that.
I know, and they also need to like give you a wall-mounted rack to put your gas can on, or gas cans plural if you want to carry more than
I'm
one.
thinking cargo netting would even be helpful.
Yeah.
Just some cargo netting on the front of the shelves. Take care of all your problems.
Or, if you really want to, if you want to go there, how about some cargo netting on the side of the truck? Because that's where the fuel cans usually go.
Yeah, very true. Very
That-
true. Ain't nobody
yeah.
carrying around no fuel in their cab.
And I just remembered, Mojo would know that well.
Well, I mean, this is a space cab.
It's usually on the back of the cab, but anyway.
And not only that, but a plastic fuel canister wouldn't survive out in space.
No,
Freaking
no. Pardon my French.
dust
Well, I
particles.
just did that.
Dust particles would tear all the way through all
Thank you
that
for the
plastic.
hydrate, Curie. I am going to have to go step away and go get my water bottle because I forgot to bring it with me. But let me move these first.
The gasp.
Cosmetics aren't expansions, but they are DLC. Well, why in God's green earth are there all sorts of traffic cones in your cab?
They are the hidden golden cone trophies for doing certain things in the game. I think that's kind of cool.
Oops.
They actually give you physical trophies.
They're not trophies for completing things in the game. They're just hidden objects to go and collect.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, what do you get after you collect 10 of them?
An achievement.
One giant
in
one to
Steam.
put on top of your...
I'm assuming
You
an
know what, they
achievement in
should-
Steam.
They should actually give you a golden cone hood ornament. That'd be amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if they could like give you attachment points on your hull to put stuff like this on. That would be awesome.
So now that you have all these golden cones inside your cab, every time you turn off your gravity, you have to go and collect them.
Yes, which is why I'm trying to keep the gravity going, but at the same time, I don't get any sort of warning when the ECC is about to die. So I have to. I got out of
Didn't
the
you
habit
just
of
throw them
checking
in your
in.
airlock?
I could do that. That way I could go
This
grab
way.
it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what they look like. Like toss them all in before turning off the gravity.
Be like a
Need
lava
more cargo
lamp.
space. You definitely need more cargo space.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to give you golden cones to collect.
Yep. Well, I
They
think they're supposed to
absolutely
sell
need
them
that.
because they're $1,000 a piece. But
Oh,
really, but you spend.
got drunk and started stealing traffic codes.
But
It
honestly, I
was
mean,
so uncharacteristic.
yeah. But they're $1,000 a piece. So I think the idea of the devs' idea was that you would sell them. But for any of us who actually play this game, no, it's not. $1,000 is not worth the effort you go through to find these, especially if you
absolutely
don't.
not.
Especially if you don't cheat and wait and go search system by system for them. I, however, have no patience, so I cheated.
Okay.
Oh, you cheated.
Yeah, I looked up where
You
they
looked it
were.
up?
Yep. I didn't look up the exact locations except for one because I was like, I'd not seen this anywhere in the area. So I looked it up. But the other ones, I just looked up the name of the sector they were in and went and found them by using the scanner. All right.
Anyways, so how do we want to include our conversation the talk about expansions as well,
We have to move
like
the ship around a
favorite
little
and
bit.
least favorite?
Um,
Does it make sense?
It does make sense. I'm thinking, however, that opens up the field a little too far because we've only got like 25 minutes left on the stream. Unless we can go longer, but I don't think that's in the cards for Hiro tonight.
Not usually, and I apologize for that.
That's okay. Well, I only plan for an hour because I usually don't know from week to week if I'm going to be going, if I can go a full 2 or if I'm going to be cutting us off at 1, what the deal is. So I usually just plan for the 1 hour.
I'll throw out a bonus opinion on that, or at least a retraction, because if you want DLC specifically as identified as DLC, yes, Fable was my very first DLC. But if you want to play that game, I'll go ahead and I'll bite and I'll say that my first DLC was actually the very first Warcraft with the I can't remember what they called it, but basically it was a DLC that gave you a bonus pre-mission. No, that was Warcraft 2.
Are you sure that wasn't
but-
Dragon Age?
Oh no, it was Warcraft. It definitely gave you.
Because we're
bonus
talking,
first
we better
mission.
be talking about Warcraft 3 then, or World of Warcraft. Because
No,
Warcraft 1
no.
was on CD, Warcraft 2 was on CD.
Right. Exactly. But if we're including expansions,
I thought we were not.
no. Well, this is where I'm going with it.
Okay.
Is if we're talking expansions, my very first expansion / DLC would have been Warcraft, where you get a bonus mission where you play the origin of the orcs, and then it jumps into the game, and then you have additional quest chains after at the end of the campaign after you've played the main story game, where you switch between Alliance and Horde. Once you've played them both, you get the bonus. You get the expansion. You get to play the expansion. And I think it was something to do. Was it Legion? No. Either way, that would have been my very first expansion / DLC. But I digress. Filter changes.
Hey, what? Who, where?
The
That
joys
was-
of
Oh,
vehicle
okay.
maintenance.
Sorry, I was not. That was so out of the blue and not relevant to what he had just finished talking about that my brain hadn't caught up yet. Oh, shoot. Turn off the gravity. So we can have the golden red lava lamp. There needs to be a switch on the console in the pilot, near the pilot seat, so I don't have to float back to my chair.
I think it would make more sense for the fuse panel to be right there by the seat.
Yeah.
At
With
the
a
same
door.
time, not so much, because you've already got so many switches and buttons that you could accidentally hit something you didn't want to hit.
Well, that's why you put a sliding door over the fuse panel.
One of those
shut when
toggle.
you don't want to accidentally hit something.
What is the thing that you use to cover a switch that you don't want to accidentally push? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, fuse covers.
I was thinking more along the
Button
lines of
covers.
like, I forget.
Oh, button cap,
Button caps.
switch
Thank you.
caps.
Yes.
Toggle caps. I don't know.
But yes. So let's see. We covered everybody's favorite and worst.
Hey, I worked in a bank. Actually, it was a National Trust and Security Bank in Memphis, Tennessee, that had us standing in a glass box with a great big red button that said "Do not press" for the Halon system.
Oh shit! What the
Oh,
hell?
oh.
Bye.
Language. That just spawned right in freaking front of you. What the heck?
Yeah, that's I'm in the region where you get these anomalies, and you don't get to see them until like the very last second. I forgot that's where I was. So I'm gonna. Oh great! Now I have to go empty out the airlock to be able to get my spacesuit on to be able to go fix my hull. Ah!
But now, do you know how much anxiety is involved just standing there with that great big red button that could potentially kill people in the building you're in?
Oh.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of anxiety involved.
I don't want to accidentally kill people. Please move my desk to the other side of the office.
Too bad you can't stack those cones like real traffic cones.
Wait,
That would be amazing too.
wait, let's see.
Wait.
Ah!
I don't know why that was so satisfying.
Thank you. Who is that? Smasher for the bits.
Asher.
If I can stack properly. Hang on, I'm losing oxygen. Let me get rid of these. We'll stack them after I fix my hull. Yes.
Oh my god, those impatient New York drivers! What's up?
You gotta put on your suit.
I did.
I'm stacking here.
Oh, I must not have noticed.
You can leave your cab without putting your suit on. I've done it, and I got the achievement for it.
And it was a bad idea, wasn't it?
Well, that's the only reason I knew I'd made the mistake was because of the notification sound for the achievement.
Negative. I am a meatsicle.
Alright. Let's really quick get out of the way here. We'll deal with those later.
I did not see you put on your suit, so.
No worries. Line up. There we go. Whee!
I want to say so many inappropriate things about the horn blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll pull over here and have some fun. See, you're supposed to blow this, and the anomalies will appear temporarily for you to duck. I
So
just
your
don't.
horn is your scanner too? Or
Yes.
sonar?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, cool.
That's how you find swag and also the golden cones. Once you get close
Definitely
enough.
gives me a reason to use the horn.
Yeah. It's not just
I'm
there
usually
for.
just sitting over here discussing that stuff.
Oops.
Just like in real life.
All right, so one. See if how high we can stack these. It's not gonna take all of them. I don't think. If I could stack them properly. Nope. Come on. Ah. We may only
Like
get.
maybe you need to be
Refine
standing
your
up on the
aim, sir.
mezzanine
Yeah.
and start your stack on the bottom floor.
Well,
So,
I'm putting them in here so I can turn off the gravity.
that's true.
That's probably all the higher you're going to be able to get it.
Oh
Man, oh.
See if I
Oh.
can sneak in here and push them over. Oops.
Oh,
It's not what I meant. It's not what I meant.
Too much, too much.
Okay. See if I can pincer it against the wall to get it to stand up properly. Yeah, there we
Nice.
go. Okay.
You might be able to get one or two more up there.
I don't think I can. Nope.
Nope, doesn't look like it.
Stack.
Okay. So we'll just do 2 stacks. Still, we got 5. It's a decent stack. Whoops. Don't mind us, chat. This is what Stream of Consciousness is all about. Just seeing where the
Randomness.
see where the random thoughts take us. Okay. Phew. All right. Anyways,
If you could put your gas can on top of one of those stacks.
I don't think it would balance. So, anything more on the DLC topic?
Hmm.
I'm upset that Bethesda did not get the flames right in a no gravity area.
Yes. I noticed that too after it was pointed out to me. And also, I didn't even realize that I didn't even think about the fact that the voice of one of the characters didn't really match up with the look of him. I was too busy listening to the dialogue.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just like the super scarred up 12-year-old boy with this,
He
like,
did not look 12 to me.
seriously, he looked 12, at best 14. The man had not hit junior high yet. Okay.
Are you talking about his height or just his look? Because I could see the wrinkles behind the makeup.
Oh, I really couldn't see the wrinkles. What I was seeing was more like battle damage.
Oh.
And yeah, and I mean, but the rest of the face was entirely too smooth. Even if those were wrinkles, those were some artificial wrinkles put on a kid.
Once you play it, you might change your tune because he didn't look that bad to me. But I got him on a 4K screen that I'm sitting relatively close to, like not obsessively close to it, but about as far from me to the camera.
BGS's bad graphics.
Yeah, I'm not gonna defend Bethesda. I'm gonna say, if it looked that awful to you guys, it was probably just the fact my lack of perceptibility.
Well, didn't help either. At one point in time, I actually worked with a guy who literally looked like a 12-year-old boy dressed up in his dad's uniform.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, when I walked into the office, he's sitting behind this giant executive desk. I'm like, oh, how cute. Where's your dad? Great way to start my first day.
Oh. Oh man, I would not.
10 years later, I was a supervisor, but that's okay.
I have not stuck my foot in it that bad with anyone that I can think of. Stop, truck,
No, that was not my worst. That was not my worst. I have had way worse. One of my guards never showed up to work one day, and I called and left a message, just being my usual flippant self. And it's the
Was
same
there
since then
sass?
I have toned it with my sass. You had either better be in the hospital or dead type situation messages, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, jeez.
But I was just being flippant about it, and you could very clearly tell I was being flippant. I mean, even the dude's wife was just like, I know you were joking, but he is dead.
Wait, what?
Oh.
The man died of diabetic shock.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah. And nobody knew it for like 3 days until his wife came down to find out why he was not responding to her phone calls.
Oh.
Oh my god, yeah. Needless to say, I have toned that shit way back.
And I'm guessing that was why.
Mm-hmm. Yes, universe said no mas.
Your sass and snark had to be tamed.
Mm-hmm.
the game developers for the universe decided to nerf you.
Freaking they did.
Oh man, that's great.
But yeah, that one I still kick myself in the behind for. Absolutely.
Oh.
That's the thought that keeps me up awake at night.
Hmm.
Anybody else?
Not that I care to share on stream.
I mean, wow. Man. Ooh, zoo. I've actually got a total of 2 people that haunt me at Halloween. My first one is a little bit darker than that. So,
Dang, these things.
but
Story
I
time.
moved out of a whole town to get away from that one.
Oof. I think I know who
Oh
that
my
was,
gosh,
but we're not
I
going to go
don't
any
like
further.
that.
We're not going to go further into that story. At least not on stream.
Nay, nay, nay.
I do not like that, Mariner.
Which part? The
The
absolute
fact
All
that
that?
I
this
don't
mess.
like that one bit. You get into an area and you have to freaking hit your horn / sonar so that you can find all of the hidden obstacles. Oh heck no!
Oh, it gets better. There's areas in this place where there are
Electrical anomalies that did
ion
feedback.
storms that zap your truck. And if you don't have,
Oh yeah.
you have to get shock pods before you can go into those areas. Otherwise, they will completely destroy your truck.
I would
And I'm
absolutely prefer
guessing
the ion
that,
over the anomalies that you can't see.
and I'm guessing you have to replace those shock pods regularly.
Actually, I've upgraded the truck enough, and I've been so not. What am I trying to say? My brain just skipped a beat. So you get the shock pods, you go into an area, and then you can, in these areas the storms are not sector wide, so you can go around the storms if you can see their boundaries, and your destination is not smack dab in the middle of them. But when it is and you have to fly through, I've got is it insulation or some other attachment or some other
Hull plating type
hull
situation.
plating type situation. There's actually 3 things. There's hull plating, there's thermal insulation, and there's one other that I can't think the name of. But it's the third one that I cannot think the name of that gives you better protection against static shocks. And that I've got maximized. So I've not actually burned out any shock pods since my initial foray into the area that shocks you. And I very nearly almost needed a rescue because I almost burned up the final shock pod when I was trying to escape the area. Alright, where is this golden cone? Golden cone is over here. Hopefully I've not... The one annoying thing about this golden cone situation is if you are in an area where you got a golden cone before, the little indicator here still says this is where the golden cone is. So the first time I went into an area after I got a golden cone and saw that indicator, I was like, oh, does that mean that it respawns and I can get more, or I don't have to get them from the specific areas? That would be nice and handy. So I got up.
How maneuverable you are now.
Yeah. So I got up and out and went to the spot, and there was no cone there. So I wasted a bunch of time trying to find a cone that no longer existed. So I hope they fix that. Ugh, that was not a good turn. Okay. Boop, boop. This is just humorous now.
Do those cones fit in the bigger containers, by the way?
Nope, and I checked.
Me.
I'm hoping that I have not actually collected the cone from this area yet, because I kind of lost track of where I had picked it up in the
Stacking
past.
failed.
So I
If
think
only you
we've...
could pick them up as a stack, that would be helpful.
Yes, I can see it, so I got this one. So another quick thing, since we're on the subject of DLCs, this game is supposed to have either DLC or expansion, however you want to define it. Because when I finished the story and unlocked the Terminus link over here on the right-hand side, there's a little pop-up message that said, essentially it said, stay tuned for more content in the future. So they're going to expand out the map,
their
I think, for
roadmap.
us. Yeah.
Their roadmap actually clearly states they have DLCs in the works for it, for
Yeah.
more places to go.
So that's something to look forward to. I'm going to have to, if I ever start the game over, I'm going to back up the save so I don't have to start from scratch when that drops. Because you only get one save per profile unless you're like superly avid paying attention to your save games and only use one slot at a time. Or one slot per game playthrough, whatever you want to call it. My brain just quit working. Words not forming. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to DLC or for this game, or expansions, however you want to define it. But that's 9 out of 10 cones. Woot woot. Wahaha. I know, let's go ahead and see, since we've got only 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes
So
left, let's
essentially,
play
you
stacking
hunt
cones.
down 10 cones for a grand total of $10,000 that you
Oops.
could easily make. What is that? That's your secret cargo hold, isn't it?
Yep. That
Oh, that's
not-
cool.
it's too sensitive to
Terrible.
terrible placement because you can't go down there and just drop something in the middle without accidentally opening that. Actually, let's make sure we've got clearance. I might actually start stacking up here.
Just
That's
dropping it
right,
from the
stream of
mezzanine.
That is such a good point, Gazoo.
Which one? Where? This was. You
The
get
worst
that
is when
feeling
you
of-
get the feeling that a DLC should have been included in the base game.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
brother's main complaint with, was it Fallout 4 or some other game where they felt
I
like
had that complaint with a couple of games.
trying not to sneeze, trying not to sneeze, trying not to sneeze, trying not to sneeze, failing. There we go. Oh no! Oh come on, straighten up. No, don't tip over. There we go. Okay.
You sure you can't just drop it from up there?
I'm gonna try as soon as I can no longer get it on above. So I got the stairs working for me here. Whoops. Welcome everyone to Deep Dive Gaming's Stacking Cone stream. Yeah,
Jane,
Not
yeah.
just any cone, but golden cones.
Yes. Golden.
I will
cones.
refrain from that joke. I know
Ah.
Mojo's mind went there.
Why can't I get this?
Ooh, what? Never.
Okay. Tower defense game
Hey.
now. Wow, did you see it bounce off
That
the
was
railing into
amazing.
that? That was cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so
Little
stand
shot.
right here, about there. Perfect.
Sweet.
Okay, stand here, about there, drop. Oh, we missed.
No. Would you run out of air?
I don't. Oh, I'm in my spacesuit still.
Oh,
Derp.
shoot.
I was wondering if that was intentional.
Oops. I'm almost tipping it over.
You could go from the left stairwell there, I think.
It depends on whether or not they will let me.
Ooh.
If they will stay
I don't
up.
know if it's going to stand straight up anymore.
No.
It's trying to eject itself. Like you can see it vibrating like the meshes are
Yeah.
going, no.
Like,
All right,
critical
well, I'm
mass
going
has
to take a
been reached.
screenshot of this, so I'll put it on my Discord for later. Or put it on my Discord later, because I have another friend who'd be interested in this little adventure. We'll try one more time. And we'll get a little off-center, like right about there, I think. Oh, almost.
Oh, wow.
I can't stoop to get it.
Oh! Well, now you can just
Oh,
drop
phew.
the other one on top of it.
Well, I want to see if we can do this. I think it was about here.
Nice.
Okay, so number 10. I don't think we'll be able to get if we get number 10. I don't think it's gonna go. But we might. Let's see if we can get 9. Right about
You can't even
there.
move your truck without that falling.
Probably not.
I still thought that was gonna fall.
It wants to. It's having trouble settling in place.
Oh my god, the lean.
Oh, okay, there it goes. Okay, so a maximum of 8 is what we can get. All right,
Yep.
we'll call that good. And I think we will call the stream good as well. So thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out and chatting and giving us your feedback on DLCs. I will be back here tomorrow night at the usual time for Starfield Shattered Space. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Shameless plug. Check out Hiro on Friday night on the Lagging Out Live, Lag and underscore out on Twitch, Lagging Out on Rumble, Lagging Out on YouTube. Mojo's been dropping links, I think, into both chats.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
But-
possibly. I think so.
I think at least in one. But until tomorrow night, enjoy Star Trekker if you happen to be playing. Fair winds and fun gaming, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we